I look at the life balance because, I work and live in the same time.
We have different points of view. Not all of us are extroverts or introverts, but we are different.
Welcome to our corporate podcast, where we explore passion, work, and what drives us. Meet our team, their success stories, and what sets us apart. Get ready for inspiring stories and valuable insights. Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Unfiltered Talks, a series of webcasts brought to you by HEINEKEN Krakow. In our bar studio today, we have Ewa and Magda, who are part of the people function, and we're here today to talk about well-being, health and well-being. How are you today, ladies?
Very good, thank you.
Awesome, good. Thanks.
And a few things about yourselves. Ewa, how long have you worked at HEINEKEN now?
I've been with HEINEKEN almost 5 years. I will celebrate my 5th anniversary on the 1st of April. The whole time here I've been head of people function, leading my fantastic team, looking after the people and people management processes in HEINEKEN Krakow.
And outside work, what do you like doing? How do you wind down?
Well, there's plenty of things. I'm Gemini, so it depends on my mood. But I do a lot of yoga and Pilates. I'm also playing badminton, and in winter I ski, and I love spending time with my friends and talking and going to different events and activities.
That sounds like a very active lifestyle.
Yes.
How about you, Magda?
So how long I'm in HEINEKEN?
Yeah, let's start with that one.
Okay, so actually I'm quite fresh because I've joined 4 months ago to HEINEKEN. About my hobbies, I like sports activities like Ewa. So I like snowboarding, boxing, jogging, so plenty of activities.
And right now your role is?
Learning and development specialist. So I'm basically responsible for coordination of training organization in HSS, and support onboarding process here.
So how does it come together? Learning and development, health and well-being. Where the connection?
So I would say that this is a very connected tasks because you really have to learn how to, prioritize tasks and prioritize things in your life. So this is also kind of learning, each day learning. So.
Okay, now why did the company invest so much effort and resources in the health and well-being agenda? In some places, this is more of a nice-to-have thing rather than a must. And what's different in HEINEKEN and why?
Well, I would say that we are very lucky here that HEINEKEN wants to invest in that. So since I came here, it was a very easy thing to implement health and well-being activities in HSS. I think for various reasons. First of all, we spend so much time at work, and I personally do not like the term work-life balance. I look at the life balance because, I work and live in the same time. So I think it's very important that we look at that, and the company wants to invest in it because it is about people. And we deliver the tasks and we deliver the objectives of the organizations through our people. And we want people to feel good, and we want to help people if they have some challenges. And also, this helps organization because if you have a healthy people whose well-being is great, they will be more productive and they will be enjoying coming to work and do the things in the organization. So that was quite simple, I would say, a reason why we put a lot of effort and time and investment into health and well-being.
Yeah, I mean, you've already answered my next question. Why is it important for the employer? But the company is not only, I'd say, line employees, but it's also management, it's also managers. Do they actually use whatever resources and trainings we have in terms of health and well-being?
Yes, they do, and Magda probably could talk a lot about the agenda we have, but yes, managers are also our employees. We look at the managers as part of the organization, as part of the whole employees group here in Krakow. But we do have some specific things for managers as well. because managers not only have to take care about their well-being, but also they manage people. So sometimes they have to deal and they have to support their employees. So we look and support managers from two ways, supporting them as a managers, how they can work with employees, but also looking after their own well-being.
Yeah, and you mentioned there's a rich portfolio of programs and activities for people who want or need some help in understanding health and well-being. What's in this portfolio?
Yeah, if I may, I would say that we start this edition of support in psychological crisis trainings dedicated to team leaders and people leaders, but of course for the employees, right? We have peer-to-peer support trainings, which were very, very, I would say, popular in our employees. And we still continue with that trainings.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
if I may, because if when we started doing the health and well-being agenda here about almost 5 years ago, we divided it into 3 pillars. So it was mind, body, and social. Mind, it's all initiatives about how to stay healthy in the mental area, and body is about all physical activities. So we provide a lot of things also that. And I would also want to mention the 3rd pillar, which is a social, because we spend a lot of time together, and we want to make a platform for people here when they can realize their potential in the after work activities. So we have a lot of social clubs, because we do trainings, we do mental helpline when people can call and talk with specialists. But for me, this as well as important is all the things they do together with other colleagues. And this platform helps them to connect and spend time outside of working hours, but together with colleagues to make the relationships, because that also later on helps with all the challenges they might have at work.
Yeah, I heard that it doesn't need to be a football club or a volleyball club, so there are plenty others.
Yeah, we have fantastic cricket and chess and many, many others.
Yeah, recently you launched the booking club or chess club, right? So this is all not only physical clubs to support your physical health, but also to your mental and personal development, right? So yeah, many of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you've mentioned mental health a couple of times already. In some places, it tends to be a taboo topic. And so it might be difficult for some people to admit that they might have some mental health problems. What has been done or what is being done to encourage people to put their hand up and speak up about it?
I would be interesting to hear from Magda also in a while how you found it when you came to the organization. But I think, if I look from the history perspective, when we started it, we wanted to be very transparent, and we made a lot of activities which were ensured that we as people function, as also we as organization do not come into it. So we don't check on people, we don't follow up what they do or what they don't do, because it's important that they feel safe. So we have a lot of initiatives which are run by the external partners. I mentioned this mental helpline, which is absolutely anonymous. We don't know anything, who goes there, who is using the vouchers they can to talk to the specialist. And I think that was the big success, that we did a lot of stuff, making sure that people feel safe, that it's not checked by managers or by people function. And I can see the progress. I remember the first workshop we had with our external partners. There was no questions, there was no comment on that. And now people speak freely about their challenges. We all experience some down times, and we feel tired, we feel exhausted, frustrated, and it's important that we share that with others, because then somebody else who experienced the same may say, oh, it's not only me, it's all other employees on different levels. So I see the huge progress, But that's me, and I'm interested to hear from you, Magda, how you
first
find
of all,
it.
I need to comment that because I was very surprised when I came here that we really have this private helpline. So yeah, this is not very popular in corporate environment, I would say, especially in Poland. But also that actually employees are really focused, and they are really create this environment, right, to support. Like we have this Health and Wellbeing group inside, and people really coordinate that project. This is amazing that this is voluntary and this is for free, right? Like people do it voluntary, and this is amazing. Even today, we had a webinar organized by our colleagues, right? So this is amazing. He focused on topic connected to neurodiversity. This is a very important topic, right? To say that we are different. We have different points of view. Not all of us are extroverts or introverts, but we are different. And this is very important just to, create that safe space, right?
Mm-hmm. And would you say that the level of awareness about how important health and well-being is to us depends on the generation, or it's totally disconnected?
I would like to say that it's not dependent on generations, but I think it is. I'm represent the oldest people in the organization, and I think when I was growing up and when I started my career in the corporate world, we didn't talk about that. That was not something you talk freely, and there was something like there was work, and there was home, and you kept the things privately. Maybe you talk to manager if you needed some support, but it was not openly shared. So I think the young generation, but Magda will elaborate on that, brings this topic more freely. They are more used to it also, because also I think in the general in society we talk about that more. So I would say yes, it has the generation has an impact on that.
Yeah,
I would say.
I would confirm that, right? Like we as a people make a really good step into transparency, I would say. But still, we have a work to do in this topic, I would say. But yeah, my generation, I would say, is more open to talk about your psychological problems, right? To talk open about depression, right? So this is, for sure generation differences. But it's changing, yeah? I would say that we are on a good way.
Yeah, so it's good to take example from each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that the younger generation also experiences more challenges in the environment. I would say that I grew up in quite safe environment. Of course, there were changes. It's a long time ago, so the Berlin Wall going down and all the changes. But it was from the kind of mental health perspective and social perspective. It was much safer than that now. Lately, a couple of years back, pandemic and the war across the border, there was all the things which, impact the young generations, and social media, all the information you have. I had so little choices to make. It was much easier,
Yeah.
I envy the number of choices the young generation has, but it's not
fast-moving
that
world,
easy
right?
to pick up.
Yeah.
I had this or this school, and I didn't, I went to the nearest one, and that's it. And now you have so many choices, and it's just, I can imagine how tiring it can be also.
Yeah, a lot of stimulations, a lot of, distractors, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is even more important just to focus on, I don't like also the word of, work-life balance, but still we spend so much time in your work. This is like the really huge part of our lives. So we really have to do everything, right? To create as much health-friendly atmosphere as possible, right? To create that environment.
So let's say I've just joined the company this year, and I'm interested in what the company has to offer. What can I reach out for in terms of health and well-being, apart from activity groups, to socialize from?
Okay, so as I said, actually, we had this internal health and wellbeing group, and the group are actually in the group are people, employees, right? So employees are also welcome to propose a lot of topics, like as mentioned, webinar that we had today, for example, even stretching sessions, like we actually organize recently each Monday. So like actually whatever you want, you can offer here. So this is amazing in AGSS, I would say.
Yeah, all the information are put on the SharePoint, which is a website for our employees, and they can find all the information there. We also do it during an onboarding, which you also organize, so the employees can easily find the information and find the people also who can they talk to and find out if they are new in the organization. So I think it's quite visible and quite broad set of information for employees.
Okay. So do you come across cases where people say, okay, I can see a lot of options for myself, but I need to use them, want to use them, but where do I find time for that?
This is a very good question. And yes, we do have those questions because, we have come to work, we have our job to do. And of course, we can imagine it's quite busy. It is, for me, there are kind of twofold answer to that. First of all is, this is important, well-being, physical, mental health, it's very important. And we stress that to employees and also to managers to support employees. And I think, you can prioritize also sometimes and really find time to do that. If something happens in the organization when you cannot do it because it is busy and you have some other priorities which you have to attend to, we have a lot of materials on our SharePoint, our web page, when people can go back to. So webinars we usually record. We put the different materials there with the e-learnings, even stretching sessions, which you mentioned already. They are recorded. You can play it anytime you want during the day and find the time. I know sometimes it's challenging to find the time, but I would encourage everyone to find this time, and because if you don't prioritize, nobody will do it for you.
Yeah.
I think that's a... Yeah, you wanted to...
No, I just wanted to confirm, like Eva said, we really focus on internal communication, right? So this is very important to remind people about those whole materials and webinars. So yeah, we really try to refresh this knowledge internally.
Okay, I think it very well summarizes the entire topic of health and well-being here. Thank you so much for joining me for an unfiltered talk about it. Thanks so much for sharing all the information. And for those who watch us and our Heineken colleagues, make sure you take care of yourselves, because only then we can take care of the business.
Absolutely agree. Thank you very much, Adriana.
Thank you so much
for attending.
Yeah.